Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade bread from scratch. I've been baking homemade bread for a long time now and it's always a hit. It's always delicious. So today that's what I'm going to share with you. So this is what we're going to need for the homemade bread. We're going to need water, yeast, more water to dissolve the yeast, salt, and the flour. We're also going to need a baking sheet, and we're going to need some extra flour for forming and for baking the bread. If you're going to try it for the first time, maybe you want to start with 1 kilo of flour. So the first thing to do is to dissolve the yeast on a little bit of warm water and the salt. So we're going to put in the salt. And we're going to wait between 5 to 10 minutes for the yeast to dissolve and to become bubbly. So 3 packages. I like to give it a quick mix, and now we're just gonna let it rest. It's been about 6 minutes and the yeast is looking nice and foamy, so we can get started now. Okay, so that's the first thing that goes in. And then you want to get all of the salt and the yeast that's there, and just pour quite a bit of water in there. I just realized that this bowl is a little bit too small for the 3 kilos, so I will be transferring some of the dough into a different bowl for the rising part of it. And here we go. Start mixing. Oh yeah, we're gonna need plenty of water. And you just have fun. It might look complicated, but it's not. It's actually fun. Sometimes while making my homemade bread, I end up with 6 or 7 loaves of bread, 1 pizza, you know, maybe some bread with chorizo inside. Keep involving all the flour. Wow, the consistency is already pretty much there. I remember when my mom used to bake bread, it was almost like a day thing, you know, because she would take so long with so little water each time. So I got the basics from her, but then someone told me a trick, just to put pretty much all the water at once, and it's easier on your muscles and it doesn't take as much time, and it's just as good. So, you know, you keep learning as you go. Even my mom learned that trick after. So a little bit more. This is a sticky business. Okay, so I still have some flour at the bottom. I have to get all of it. Let's use a little bit more water. So you just keep rolling. This is a good workout. All right, need more water. It's starting to feel right, but I still need some more water. Ooh. Oh yeah. And now it's starting to look right. And now the fun begins. Beating the dough. All right, so you see this? This is looking and feeling right. So you just pull from the sides and hit it in the center. Keep wetting your hands so the dough doesn't stick to your fingers that much. And at the same time, we're still adding some water because it still needs a little bit more. So it doesn't take long to get to this point. I just happened to time myself, and it's been about 13 minutes since I started, and it's pretty much done. So it's not too much time consuming. The rising part is gonna take some time now, right? And then the baking, of course. But in the meantime, I can do something else after this. So there you have it. Just gonna give it a couple more slaps and then we'll just let the yeast do the rest. So like I said, it looks like quite a bit of dough. I'm gonna leave it all together for now, and then once it reaches the top of the bowl, then I'll transfer some out. It's actually a good idea to keep it all together for the first 15-20 minutes of the rising part, because it's all nice and uniform and warm, and that's how you want to keep it. So for now, this is it. I'm just gonna sprinkle some flour on top of it, just to kind of seal the moisture, to keep the whole thing nice and cozy in there. And this is an old tradition that we have of making a cross on our dough for blessing, make it rise. So after that, we're just gonna cover it nice, because we don't want any of the warmth to escape. So this will help it rise faster. And I'm just gonna place it here in this corner. There's no draft, so that's a good spot for it. It's now 4 o'clock. At 4:30, we're gonna come and check to see how it's doing. So it's been half an hour, so let's take a peek. Oh, there you go. See, it's rising beautifully. And like I said, this is obviously too small. This is when I transfer some of this dough into another bowl and we let it rise for another half hour. So I've divided it, and now I'm gonna cover it again, and I'm gonna check in another half an hour to see how it's going. In about 15 minutes from now, I'm gonna warm up the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. It's been about 50 minutes. The bread is looking really nice. Let's take a peek here. I removed quite a bit of dough and it's already coming up again. So at this point, I'm going to warm up the oven, and I'm gonna give it a good 15 minutes before I start baking, because that's how the bread is. The bread likes the oven really hot. All right, so we want to make sure that the oven is going to be nice and hot. While the oven warms up, we're going to prepare our molding station. So I'm just going to use some flour and sprinkle it on the cooking tray or baking sheet, whatever you want to call it, just to make sure that the bread is not going to stick to the bottom of the tray. Okay, so a generous amount of flour. And I'm going to be baking only 2 loaves at a time. If I made them smaller, I could probably fit 3, but I'm just going to be baking 2. And I'm going to put some flour on this tray here, because this is where I'm going to be molding the bread and then transferring into there. I still need some extra flour in here just for my hands. I want to keep my hands floured so the dough doesn't stick to my hands. It's been 1 hour and 10 minutes rising time for the dough, and it's ready. It looks great, so we're just gonna mold it. The oven is hot as well, so we're good to go. So just grab some of the dough, put it on top of this flour here, just bring the ends in like that. And transfer over there. Now you need to keep flouring your hands if you don't want the dough to stick to it, to them. Okay, one more. Basically, there's not much to it. You just make a nice round ball, and there you have it. And we're gonna put it in. The rest of the dough, you just keep it covered and it'll keep rising. Look at that. They've been in there for about 10 minutes and they're looking so good already. Oh wow, excited. And our loaves are now ready. It's been half an hour. Oh, it looks amazing. Look at this. Just look at that. Wow. Beautiful. I got the butter out. I just let them rest a little bit and then I'll attack them. So again, same process. Flour your tray and mold a couple more loaves. Oh, this is smelling so good. Oh gosh, can't wait. The size of your loaves, it's up to you. I like this size. It's just perfect. Takes half an hour to bake. If they're bigger, obviously they're gonna take longer. And if they're smaller, they're gonna take less time. Again, just pull the edges in, turn it upside down, and there you go. And in they go. Another half an hour. So I still have about 4 loaves to bake. I have the 2 that are baked already, and I have 2 more going. So in total, 8 loaves. Beautiful. I'm gonna have enough bread for the whole week and even for sharing. So this is it, guys. Homemade bread. It's not that difficult, right? But I do want you to keep something in mind. When you try making it for yourself, remember, if your dough is too tough and stiff, it needs more water. If your dough is too runny and mushy, it needs more flour. And that's it. Okay? So it's really easy to fix. And just bake it and enjoy it. So try it out. Good luck. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to keep up with Linda. Ciao!